computer. Okay. All right. So again, just if anyone's just recently tuned in, feel free to ask questions, put your questions in the chat, or I'll definitely have time for questions at the end. Okay, I'm just admitting more people. Welcome to the latest joiners. We're just starting now because I had a little bit of technical difficulty. So welcome to everyone. Again, my name is Liz Smith. I'm a physical therapist and aromatherapist. And I started using essential oils about 4 years ago when someone told me, you should really look into this. It would be a good addition to your physical therapy practice. I didn't know a thing about essential oils, so I thought, all right, let me give it a try. Of course, I had to dive in. I took a certification course at the Institute of Aromatherapy in the East Village here in New York City, and I immediately fell in love with aromatherapy and essential oils. So when I was working over at Modrn Sanctuary, Alex asked me to find a brand that I trusted to have on the retail shelves. So when I did the research, I really came upon a lot of different brands and a lot of different people selling them. And since that time, there's been even more and more of an influx of essential oil brands into the market. So I landed on doTERRA, and I'll just get that out of the way quickly, is that I'm a representative for doTERRA, and if anybody wants to purchase anything at the end, you can always ask. You can send me your email. We can have a one-on-one phone call or Zoom. But as you know, today is free, and this is my chance to sort of give to you guys my knowledge of aromatherapy, my love for essential oils, and help you to learn how you can use them to support your health. Most people think that essential oils are used just to make a nice, pretty scent in the air. And that's what I thought as well. My first probably, and probably your experience with essential oils originally was, say, having a massage at a spa, and they ask you, would you like this add-on of aromatherapy? And that, of course, makes the room smell nice, and it might relax you more. But that's pretty much as far as I got with aromatherapy and essential oils. And since then, I've learned more and more of how they can support your health in these many different ways, which I'm going to get into. So let me just start by saying what essential oils are, because some people don't know exactly what the heck they are and how they differ from, say, an olive oil or an almond oil. Essential oils are highly concentrated extracts from plants. So they are what their name indicates. They're the essence of the plant. And each plant has this essence that basically gives it protection against their environments. So in this essence, in this part of the plant that gives it protection against the world and its environment, that essence can be extracted and then put in this tiny little bottle, and now we can receive the benefits of that plant's essence. So that's what an essential oil is. They come in these tiny bottles because they are very, very, very potent, which means you only need a few drops. Now, what is aromatherapy? Aromatherapy is the therapeutic application of essential oils. So what that means is you're not just smelling it and thinking it's pretty and it's, making your home smell nice or making your massage experience more pleasurable. It's actually giving you a therapeutic effect. So what that means is there's 3 different ways you can use essential oils. You can use them aromatically, which is how most people know. And I'm just going to give a little demonstration very quickly. I have a diffuser in the back here. A diffuser is like a small humidifier, if you will. They don't have to have water in them, but the ones I generally use do. They can have water. They can be something that it has more of a vibration to it, that is just a glass bulb that also can diffuse the oils into the air. Aromatic or a diffuser can also be a small ceramic pot that has a candle under it, and the oils can be dropped on the top. You've probably seen those before. That's also an example of a diffuser. Now, the diffusers that have some sort of heating element to them, just so you know, heat can decrease the effectiveness of an oil. So that's nice for just making the air smell nice, but it's not as effective. Let's say if you wanted something next to your bed to sleep, you might want to use something other than the heated ones. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration of how you would set up your diffuser, because a lot of people say to me, "Ugh, I don't want to deal with the diffuser. It's such a pain in the neck, and I have to clean it too often." And honestly, it's one of the most simple things. We have them in every room of our house. You might start with one, and then you realize, oh yeah, I want that for my bedroom. Oh, I want it for my entryway. Oh, my kids have them. We have them by the bed in the bedroom, in our bedroom, and in this little office area, I have one, and then I have one in my kitchen, sort of dining, common space. So what you do is, this is what the diffuser looks like. Let me just unplug it. Okay, it's like a tiny little humidifier. You pour water inside. Okay, so what, I've already poured some in there, so I'm just gonna pretend. And then you drop in a few drops of your desired oil. And depending on the oil, it will depend on how fast it comes out. And you'll just learn to know, get a sense of which ones come out faster than others. For instance, citrus is very viscous and that will come out quickly, whereas something like that was derived from a tree resin or the bark of a tree will be more thick and viscous, and that will take a little bit longer, and sometimes you actually need little dropper tops. So you just replace the top, you plug it in, and then the best diffusers will have different time settings on them. So this one has a 2-hour, a 5-hour, and then a 10-hour that goes on every 5 minutes and off every 5 minutes. And if you're ever sleeping with a diffuser, you always want to keep it on the intermittent setting. So the intermittent setting is also very important in a kid's room. So on and off, on and off. Okay, so you give your system a little bit of a break. However, what I use the constant for instance, when I wake up in the morning and I want to diffuse a scent in the kitchen area and dining area for breakfast to get everyone sort of awake and happy, create like a nice environment and kind of calm everybody down and sort of wake everybody up at the same time for their day, then I'll just put it right on the 2-hour, or the 2-hour. Okay. Or if we're like cooking something and I really want to clean the air, I'll keep it on like 2 or 5 hours in a large space. But for instance, but again, just very important, if you're diffusing in your kids' room, especially in a baby's room or next to your bed, have it going on and off, okay? Because your body can accommodate and you don't want to overdo it. Okay, so you just turn that on. Okay, and that's just gonna go on. Okay. Any questions about diffusing? So that's how you diffuse. Okay, that's one way to use essential oils aromatically. The other way is to just simply take an oil and drop it in your hand. Okay, rub it together, and then take a deep breath in. And then the other thing I like to do is to put it on my pulse points and even into your hair, because your hair can act like a little diffuser to go. Yeah, I can hear somebody using oil, so that's awesome. Okay, so that's the way you can use them just right in your hands. I am using a blend called Balance, which has a little bit of oil in it. A little bit of carrier oil in it, so I know I can put it right on the skin, but it's good just to speak to someone about which oils you have and which ones can go directly on the skin or not. Tara does say on each bottle which ones can go directly on the skin and which ones can't, and which ones you can actually ingest. So that leads me to the second way to use essential oils is actually ingesting them. Again, just to reiterate, I am speaking specifically about doTERRA. If you buy oils from the shelf somewhere or off the internet, do not ingest them. But if you buy them from me, and that way you know that you're getting them straight from the factory at doTERRA. then you can ingest them. And not all of them can be ingested. However, an example of ingesting oils would be, say, a citrus oil. Citrus oils are derived from the rind of the citrus plant, so therefore it's very easy and safe to ingest them. So that's just one example of ingesting. The reason why you would ingest is because if you're working on something like your digestive system, then this would be a very direct method in which to get that therapeutic effect. Okay, that's ingestion. And then the third way to use essential oils is topically. So I just did that actually topically, okay? But another example of topical application would be something I do a lot in my physical therapy practice, which is to use a carrier oil or a lotion, depending on what I'm doing with the patient. And then I would use oils for, let's say, muscle relaxation. Another good way to use them topically are in roller bottles. Okay, so you can make your own. If you have oils like this, you can make your own roller blends. These roller bottles can be purchased on Amazon super simply. And they all come with these little tools to pop on and off the rollers. Okay, so there's a little ball in here and the roller. You can roll it on. So you can roll it right on an area. These are two of my favorite. Actually, these are brand new, so I'm not going to pop them open. But these are peppermint and lavender, and these are two incredibly important oils when you're traveling. What you can use these for many different things. I'm going to go through as we talk through ways to use them for your health. But just as a little teaser, what I use these for when I'm traveling is peppermint for nausea, any sort of stomach aches, and bug bites. So an awesome way to like treat your bug bites really quickly is to put some lavender on. The lavender will soothe the skin, and then the peppermint over it, then that will take care of the itch and the pain. So that's just another example of how to use them topically. Okay, so again, aromatically, internally, and topically. Okay, so that's how to use essential oils. Now, I'm going to go through sort of 3 or 4 areas of health that a lot of people, it's very, that people are interested in right now. I'm not going to get too dark and deep into what's happening these days, but what's really nice about having oils at home is that you have all these tiny little bottles. You can have just a few, and you can reach for them for many different reasons for your health, and you don't have to order things. You don't have to go out and get things. There's just, the oils have many different therapeutic properties. So it's just nice to have your own toolbox at home. And there are groups of oils that kind of like the top 10 oils, the little kits that they come in, that will sort of take care of 99% of your over-the-counter drugstore needs, and you don't even have to go to the CVS. So let's talk about sleep, because that's probably the most common reason people turn to essential oils initially. So of course, I'm going to start with lavender because that's probably also the most commonly used oil. Lavender, one of the reasons why lavender works is that each oil has in it different chemical constituents. So it's kind of like the ingredients in this oil. And this oil that doTERRA sources lavender from Bulgaria mainly, and the south of France, but mainly Bulgaria. So this is different than just growing lavender in your backyard and clipping it off and putting it by your bed. This is the lavender that has the highest amount of linalool, and linalool is the chemical constituent that calms you down. So it's good for calming the skin, it's good for calming the nervous system, and that's why it's really good for sleep. So you can drop a few drops in your diffuser. You can put it in a spray bottle and spray your pillow. You can just drop it on your pillow. What I like to do if I'm traveling and I don't have my diffuser is to drop a few drops on a tissue, and then just put the tissue by my bed. So that's lavender. Now, The other thing I'll talk about briefly as far as stress and essential oils in general is that you can blend different oils together. So as you get more comfortable and more familiar with different oils and what they do, what you might like to do is to combine a few different ones in your diffuser, on your tissue, or in a roller bottle to kind of deepen the effect. So what I like to do for sleep is use frankincense, which is from a tree resin. So um, it's very calming to the nervous system. It's, as an aside, actually very it's excellent for skin. So I actually like that diffusing in my face as well for like skin health. But it's super calming and relaxing and deepening. And you've probably heard of frankincense in being used for religious ceremonies. So it's also good for meditation. It sort of helps you kind of go deeper and introspective and things like that. So that's where frankincense comes in. And why I like to combine it with lavender is because lavender is floral. And so, even though I do like lavender, it's not my favorite scent, although it works so well for sleep and for calming. So what I like to do is I'm more of a earthy note type, that's just my preference scent wise. Most people you'll find will have more of a profile, just like you have a flavor profile. Some people like more sweet, some people like more savory. I tend to like more earthy trees and roots and things like that, herbs. But so what I'll do to sleep is to combine frankincense and lavender, or something called vetiver, which is a very thick oil. It's made from the root of a plant it's called vetiver from Haiti. So that is very, very grounding. So it's nice to kind of mix those things. Now, for a beginner or someone that can't be bothered with mixing different things, I completely understand. doTERRA will makes different blends already, little bottles already blended. So this one is called Serenity, and Serenity is a blend of lavender, chamomile, vetiver, sandalwood, and something called Howood. So it's a really beautiful floral, but it also is very soft and very earthy notes as well. And as you know, chamomile is also very calming and relaxing as well. So that is Serenity. So that's also a great one. My kids love this to sleep. And I'm just going to mention an oil called Breathe, because this one is a blend of oils for airway opening and for really deepening your breath. It's got eucalyptus, which everyone's familiar with. It's got a few different mints like spearmint and peppermint. It has two trees also called Ravinsara and Ravensara, and they're also very good for immune health. So this blend, Breathe, although it is very opening to the airways and sort of awakening in a sense, because it's got the minty, very strong mint flavor or note, scent. It also is wonderful for sleep if you are feeling congested or anyone's sick. So my kids also and I love to sleep with Breathe. And I never slept with Breathe until I had a respiratory infection last winter. And so I slept with it for the first time. And then my brain remembered how well I slept. And this is how the limbic system works. It remembers, oh, I slept really well with that scent, so let me use that again to sleep really well. So sometimes I just like to sleep with the Breathe, even if I'm not congested. So that's just a little note about the limbic system and how this stuff works. So that's Breathe. Now let me piggyback sleep with stress as well, because that's obviously a big concern these days. And when we don't sleep, it usually has some sort of stress component to it as well. And as we know, without sleep and with too much stress, our health starts to fail. So I am going to talk about stress. Can everyone hear me okay? My son is now starting a dance class on the other end. So please let me know if I need to grab my earpods, and that might kind of help with the sound a little bit. Okay, so as far as, okay, good, I see, all good, thank you. Okay, so as far as stress goes, it's a little, they said it's fine. I'll let you know. Maybe just like keep the volume down a little bit, honey. Sorry, thank you. Everyone's Zooming everything these days. So I'm going to talk right now about copaiba. Copaiba is an oil sourced from a tree in Brazil. And the way the oil works is very similarly to CBD oil. So it works on the same pathways, neural pathways. Copaiba can be used topically to calm the muscle tissue. It could be used internally also to calm your nervous system, and can be used aromatically. I love to use this in almost any blend I make, because it also is like a driver. It's one of those oils that helps make all the oils, the other oils, work more potently. So the other way I use it, I could use it right now because I'll show you one way to ingest oils is simply just to pour them in your mouth. Okay, so I'm putting it right under my tongue. It has like a funky taste, not the best, but it's a very wonderful nervous system relaxer. Okay, so this is a great one for stress and for sleep. Good one to take in the morning before your day starts, and at night. Okay, so this is one of those that I sleep with all the time. Okay, so balance, I'm diffusing right here. I'm going to talk about balance. Balance is a combination. This is one of everyone's favorite blends. This is a blend of spruce, so it's got some trees in here. It also has that vetiver root that I was talking about. It's a root that's very, very calming and grounding. So this is a good thing to sleep to as well. It's also good to, if you're meditating, good before yoga. A lot of people, and I started just recently doing this, is to put a few drops right on the bottoms of your feet. And the bottoms of your feet is a great way. It's really safe. You're going to get some aromatic effect from it as well, but you're also going to get that topical application. And that's a really good method to get the oils into your system very safely. And it's another good way to use them with children, to just put a few drops right on the bottom of their feet. So balance is a great one for stress. It's not so sedating that you can't use it during the day. So it's nice to sleep, but you can also use it throughout the day. A lot of people like to use this as a personal scent, and that's why they put a little bit of coconut oil in here, so it's very, very safe to put it right on the skin. Or you can make a roller bottle out of it. Okay, so that is stress and sleep. Those are kind of my favorites: the balance, serenity, lavender, frankincense, and copaiba. But there are many, many different ones for sleep and for stress. Okay, nutrition. How could you use oils for nutrition? This is a new one for a lot of people. So as I mentioned before, a really nice way to start the day is to place a drop of oil in your water, in your morning water, before you have anything else. So before you have the coffee, before you have your bagel or whatever it is, start with some oil and water. So I'm just going to find my glass. And I'm going to show you how I would do this. Okay, so let's do this. What I like, this is just my little trick. I like to start with an empty glass and don't put oils in plastic bottles. Okay, so only in glass or stainless. Okay, so what you're gonna do is take your glass, take your oil. I'm going to use lemon, but any citrus will do as far as digestion goes. So doTERRA has lemon, lime, grapefruit, tangerine, clementine, green mandarin, the list goes on, but almost any citrus you can think of. And it's really nice to switch it up. That way you don't get bored of the same flavor every morning. Also a nice thing to do in the afternoon to kind of wake you up or to prolong that desire to have a glass of wine or a cocktail at the end of the day. Have a little oil and Pellegrino or a citrus, I'm sorry, a seltzer. And that's a great way to like kind of get you, prolong that desire to break down and have a glass. So I'm going to put, see, I meant to put 2 in there because this is a big glass, but 3 came out and that's fine. But the general rule of thumb is 1 drop per 4 ounces. And that again says it on the bottle. This is all the oils that doTERRA has that you can take internally have right on it how to use it, and also the nutritional, it says nutritional supplement on it. So that's why it's actually perfectly safe and made to be taken internally. So I'm going to take my glass, then I'm going to pour the water over it, and that kind of mixes it up a little bit. Now you can just drop it into your water if you already have water in a glass, but I find that the drop will just sort of float on top, and then that kind of burn your lip a little bit. Not really burn, but kind of sting. So nice. So that's a great way also to get you to drink more water. I particularly don't love plain water, so I like to add different oils to my water. It just kind of motivates me to drink a little bit more. My kids know to never grab my water bottles because they always taste like citrus. Okay, so that's a great way to get, so what does lemon and citrus oils do to your system? Kind of gets your digestive system going. It's also excellent for digestion because it's a good liver detox. Okay, so lemon has a very high quantity of limonene in it, and limonene has been shown in studies as a wonderful liver detox. So I know we all think of the liver detox as like, regarding alcohol, but liver is what, our livers are what store all the things that we're taking in, not just the things that we're ingesting, the things we're smelling in the environment, the things that we come in contact with. That's where all these toxins that we come in contact with are being processed, is in our liver. So it's really good to have some sort of daily liver detox going on. A lot of people drink juices. That's great too. But this is a super simple way to do it. And it's just like squeezing lemon in, but you can just, it's very simple. And a bottle of lemon costs, I think, wholesale is $11 or $12, and there's 250 drops in there. So it's pennies per drop. So it's just really easy. It's also really nice to cook with essential oils. So, or I should say, add them to your cooking or to your food. And again, you don't add it early in the cooking because the heating can decrease the effect or the therapeutic effect of the oil. But let's say, for instance, you are making a fennel salad or a Caesar salad and you forgot to buy lemon that week. You could certainly use the lemon. It tastes a little bit different, but it does taste like lemon, and it gives you that therapeutic effect. Let's say you're cooking Thai food or Vietnamese and you need lemongrass. You can grab your bottle of lemongrass. That will do the trick as well. Lemongrass, a lot of areas of the country, is very hard to find. So a lot of people like to have these on hand just because then they don't have to always have these things stored. Also, a lot of the herbs are wonderful to put in your cooking, like cilantro and things like oregano, great in your sauce and any of your Italian cooking. Thyme, so oregano and thyme are 2 of the most important oils for immunity. So this, and let me back up one more second. Let me get to that in a minute. So oregano, thyme, basil, all of these are available in essential oils, and they are wonderful for immunity. They're wonderful for digestion. Things like ginger, wonderful for digestion. Peppermint. Let me actually read to you our digestive blend. It's called Digest Zen. And in the Digest Zen, it comes in a bottle and it comes in a pill. And what's in here is peppermint, caraway, coriander, ginger, and fennel. And all of those plants extracts are very, very calming to the digestive system. So it's a wonderful thing to travel with. It's a great, it'll save your travel day. It's saved me on many occasions. Nice thing to have in your desk drawer. My husband always has Digest Zen in his desk. He's saved his work day from, you know, some bad takeout on many occasions, and some of his coworkers as well. Really made him a believer in these oils. So again, it helps with the digestion. It calms the system. A few drops in water, or if you discover you love them and you get the pills, these are just easy to pop. And if you don't like the taste of oils, then this is another method. I like to take one of these before I go to bed if I've eaten a heavy meal, or I've eaten things that I don't normally eat. Like, let's say I have an enormous bowl of pasta and bread and cheese and, you know, dessert. I often will take these. I always take these on vacation, but I often overeat on vacation. And then this is something I can take before bed, and it just kind of keeps me asleep more easily because I'm not waking up from indigestion. So that's Digest Zen. Another way to use the oils for your nutrition and to help you digest your food, because remember, you can eat all the organic food and the perfect meals and all of that, you can, but if your body isn't digesting them well, then you're not going to reap the benefits from that amazing food that you've spent so much time and money on. So Digest Zen is super important. Also, there's a product called Terrazyme, which are digestive enzymes, and those are specifically made to help calm the digestive system and to help you break down your food more easily. So that's it's an example of something doTERRA has made with essential oils, but also with other things like digestive enzymes. And digestive enzymes are naturally occurring in our system, but as we age, we get less, we produce less and less of them. That's why you always hear older people complain about eating too late. They don't like to eat too late because then they can't sleep. So that's the reason why, is because as you age, and like everything, I think that begins at like 25. So if you're over 25, you're on the downward slope of this digestive enzyme production. And the more nutrients you reap from your foods, the healthier you're going to be, and the more, it's going to boost your immune system. You're going to get all those benefits from the good food you're eating. Another way, if you don't want to ingest the Digest Zen or something even more simple, and this is how I use this with my kids, is I take a drop of peppermint and I'll add it to a carrier oil and just rub it on their bellies. That's one way. There's also these little tiny droplets called peppermint beadlets. Those are a quarter drop of peppermint, and those I will give to my kids internally. And there's something I always just have in my bag as well. I try not to eat too much during the day when I'm with clients because I'm super physical. But I like, if I'm eating and I need a little help with my digestion, I'll take a little tiny drop of peppermint, and that also is great for your breath. So for kids, again, just to reiterate, topical use is great. You can rub it straight on the belly or with the Digest Zen or peppermint, or you can use it internally as a quicker, more effective digestive help. Okay. So let's go to immunity. So we touched on this a little bit, but obviously we're all really concerned with our immune systems. And I know you've all heard of oil of oregano or the benefits of oregano oil. I just want to point out the differences between oil of oregano and oregano oil. So oregano essential oil is 100% the essence of the oregano plant. So this is 250 drops of essential oil. Now, oil of oregano, you'll see like on the counter at, say, Whole Foods, Whole Body, and they'll say oil of oregano. That is also taken internally, but it is oil, oregano oil diluted in a carrier oil like olive oil or something you can ingest, almond oil, something like that. So it's a very different and more potent is to use the oregano oil. Oregano oil is known as a hot oil, not something you would see anyone pour into their mouth like I did with copaiba. This is a very, very strong hot oil. And it will burn your skin, it will burn your mouth, it will burn your esophagus. So this is not taken internally unless you put it in a small veggie cap. So what you can do if you're doing oils internally and you're nervous about, what I just talked about, you can put them actually in a tiny little empty vegetable capsule. And those you can buy at a health food store, and doTERRA sells them as well. They're super inexpensive, and they're a great way to use your oils in an internal way. So you can drop oregano oil in there. Oregano is antiviral, antibacterial, and it's very, very potent. So you'll read on I know you're probably getting lots of newsletters like I am. The chemical constituents in oregano are very, very helpful for immune boosting and antibacterial, antiviral. Also, actually, I don't have it here, but thyme is also very, very good for antiviral, antibacterial, and that can be taken internally as well. So immunity. The other things I'll just mention really quickly, but I know we're just talking about essential oils today, but as far as immunity goes, I can't talk about essential oils without talking about other ways to support your immune system. Obviously, the gut is super important. So taking probiotics, taking herbs is very helpful as well. I'm sure you have a lot of emails coming your way as to what herbs to take. That is not particularly my specialty, but herbs are very helpful as well. Essential oils are more potent than herbs, just something to know. But herbs are super important as well. Also, so probiotics, herbs, and your multivitamins. So your D, your A, your C, and zinc. So your vitamins and minerals. And doTERRA has an amazing line of daily supplements that are in like one nice 3-part package that includes everything. So if you're someone like me that didn't take supplements for a long, long time, I sort of drove me crazy to open the D bottle and the C and then the A and then the magnesium. And this has everything all in one, and well, I should say all in 3. So it's a really nice way to support your immune system. And they also put in there essential oils to support your immune system. The other oil you'll hear about in regards to immunity is called the On Guard blend. So On Guard, if you've also heard of Thieves, this is just doTERRA's version of Thieves oil. And it has in it oils that are very immune protective. They also protect your immune system, but they also are wonderful for cleaning with. So that's a whole nother talk I can give another time, but I actually use a lot of essential oils to clean with. So in this blend, we have orange, clove, cinnamon, rosemary, and eucalyptus. And those are all amazing antibacterial oils. So they're great for cleaning. They're great for taking internally to boost your immune system. If anyone is sick in your home, you diffuse this. You can put it in your tea at night. You can ingest it. What I like to do is I like to put it in a little spoonful of honey and then stir it into my tea, or just take the spoon full of honey and reap the benefits. They also have this in a pill form, which is really easy to take as well, and it includes oregano in the pill form. Okay, so that is a way to use essential oils for immunity. And then the last thing I was just going to talk about is how to use oils to support the other really important part of your health, which is movement and exercise. So obviously we know that exercise and moving our bodies is super important for our immune systems and our general health, circulation, respiratory health. All this is incredibly important right now. So I don't know if some of you are exercising more or less. Me in particular, I'm having more time to exercise and more options to exercise for free with all of these amazing instructors and yoga classes and Pilates and dance classes. And I'm still running outside. I'm being really careful. There's no one around. So I find myself doing more and more exercise these days. And how can I support that with my oils? There's an oil, which, you know what? Let me see if it's here. My husband always has it in our room because he puts it on every day after. Nope, I don't have it. But anyway, it's called Deep Blue. So this oil is in a tiny bottle, and it has a child-proof lock on it because it has wintergreen in it. Wintergreen has been used for centuries for muscle aches, but it's also one of those you cannot ingest. So that's why it has a child-proof lock on it. But it's a tiny bottle. You use very, very little, and you only use it in the spot where you have soreness or pain. It has all of the oils in it that are amazing for pain and inflammation. So this is an oil you would not use internally again, but you would use topically. It comes in an oil, and it also comes in a lotion that you don't have to dilute. Right now I'm out of the lotion, so we're using the oil. And so what we'll do is just put a little pump or squeeze of our regular body lotion, put a drop of the oil in, rub it around, and then put it on your sore aches and pains. A lot of my older clients love to use Deep Blue because it is wonderful for their arthritis, bursitis. I use it literally all day on patients. So it's usually I'll do my work, we'll do their exercise, I'll do my manual work, and then I'll give them like a swipe of it before they go on wherever we've been working. Again, it has wintergreen in it. It has something called helichrysum, which is amazing. It's a very, very potent anti-inflammatory, but it's also a pretty versatile oil in the sense that because it has those, the mint, the wintergreen in it, and the helichrysum, you can also use it for breathing. So you can put a drop in your hand, you can rub it around, and you can take a deep breath in, and that will help open up your airways. It's also a good thing to do before you work out. Like if you're a little sore, you want to like power through, you can put that on. You can also use it just to breathe and to open up your airways. I use Deep Blue, and I also use the Breathe blend before I exercise if I'm feeling a little stuffed up, allergy season, things like that. But you still want to get a good cardiovascular workout. It'll help open up your airways, and you can get a little more oxygen in there and last a little bit longer. Okay, I have a question. Can you use nasal inhalers? Yes. So there is something, hang on one sec. I have an example just so everyone knows what that is. I'm going to just grab one. Oh, here, I have my little supply cabinet behind here. So here is the Deep Blue, okay, tiny little bottle because it's really, really strong. And then let me show you what a nasal inhaler looks like. So these are great, another great way to use oils aromatically. So what it looks like, it comes in a few parts. You can buy these in a bag of like a dozen on Amazon. This is just the standard, like old school white, but they come in like all these pretty colors and things like that. And I'm going to tell you how to use this. So it comes with this is an unused one. It comes with a cotton little tube here, okay? And then what you do is you put the oil in a glass jar or a glass bowl or a plate, and then you soak up the oil with the cotton. And then you put it inside this, and then you cap it off. And then at the end of this, there are little holes. So you put the cap, you would apply the cap here. And then you could keep it in your pocket or by your bed. This is another good thing to travel with. And then you just keep the cap on it. Oh, there's something stuck in here. Oh no, this is just a used one, an unused, okay. So this is how you would use this, okay? And then you would take it out of your pocket, Smell. This is also a great way. I have a lot of, I don't know if you guys are all from New York City, but a lot of people complain of getting like lightheaded or nauseous on buses and subways and things like that. This is an awesome thing to have in your bag, just to take out, take a deep breath. It helps with, if you're using that for nausea, something like the digestin or fennel or ginger or peppermint or a blend of that on one of these. Or for like kids that get lightheaded on the subway, I recommend these. So that's what a nasal inhaler is called. So that is, and there's many different oils to use topically for to support your exercise and your muscular health, like marjoram. I had mentioned the chamomile. I mentioned the helichrysum, which is the anti-inflammatory, but chamomile is as well. Very soothing to the skin. What are some of the other ones? Oh, and the copaiba. Copaiba is like CBD. So that can also work very well for maintaining your health and keeping you moving. So those are some examples of how to support your, the general areas of health that we're most concerned with these days. I'm going to open up to questions. So you can either put it in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and chime in. Does anybody have any questions or anything you want me to go into further? Does anyone here, has everyone used essential oils before? Make the best. Okay, can you make nasal inhalers with Himalayan salt too to get the benefit of both? Oh, that's a good question. So Alex is asking, can you make nasal inhalers with Himalayan salt too? That's a very good question. I think to get the benefit of both the salt and the oil, you would, I don't know any way of making one of these. Oh, I know what you're talking. I know there's another nasal inhaler. Yes. Okay. So there's another nasal inhaler that I don't have right now, right on me, but it's a small ceramic, it's almost like a neti pot, right? But it has, you put the Himalayan salt on the bottom, and then you breathe in through the top. It has like you actually breathe in your mouth. And so what I've done before is you breathe in the effect from the salt, and then you can breathe out your nose. Yes, my acupuncturist is Sarah. Okay, great. So yeah, that's a good way to use those nasal inhalers. I'm thinking how you would best. I think you could use like a drop of oil in there, but I would just go really gently with that. I think what I would do is maybe use the salt inhaler first to kind of open up the airways, and then follow it up with a deep breath of the oil. Because first, the salt inhaler, or sitting in the salt room, or that would sort of open up your airways, and then that would get the oil. Let's say you were going to go to sleep and you wanted to calm down, then you could the lavender or whatever it is you were using, you would reap more of a therapeutic benefit from that oil by first using the salt therapy. Or let's say you were going to sit in the I think you could sit in the salt room. You could definitely sit in the salt room with an oil on your hands, or your pulse points, and do that at the same time. That would be amazing. Yeah, so your acupuncturist uses doTERRA. I have the deep blue lotion and the breathe oil. So good. Yeah, so you have both of the, someone wrote in that they're using the deep blue lotion, which is the easiest way to use deep blue. It's so good for pain. And the breathe oil, which is great for your airways, but also good for, think about using it. Other ways to use the breathe would be like for meditation, or breathing exercises. I really encourage everyone to be doing some like breathing exercises every day right now, just to keep your lung health at its best. And that's something I've been doing recently, is sending people rollers. I've been making a roller blend of breathe oil with an anti-inflammatory oil, either the chamomile or helichrysum, and then the copaiba and lavender. And that's an awesome blend to relax and open up airways. And so if anybody, any friend or any friend of a friend or anyone that I know has contracted the virus, then I'm sending these out to people just at my, my courtesy, because I want to help anyone who needs it. But that's what people have been writing back saying they are loving it. And they feel it's really nice to have, especially when you're in that situation, because a lot of people are dealing with this at home. They go to the hospital and then they're told that, they stabilize and then they have to go home. And it's super scary because that respiratory distress sometimes comes in the middle of the night, and it's nice to have something like a roller that they can just, this one is actually a used one. They can just swipe on their chest, take some deep breaths, calm down, relax, open the airways. So it's really nice to have these tools. How much? Okay, I am going to write in my email because I think it might be just good to talk one-on-one if anybody has specific questions, or let me just write my email here. Can't talk. Okay, so there's my email. If anybody wants to talk, over the phone or email or text, anything. If anyone wants to communicate after this, as far as oils go, I can teach you I can send you a link on how to purchase them. If anybody is not ready to purchase, but would like a sample of any of the things we're talking about, or, anything at all, please just send me an email and we can communicate that way. It's really nice to sample them, but if especially if you are home and you're ill right now, it's you probably want to get them sooner than later. So I can send you some things. We can place an order. It's super easy. But I think maybe talking one-on-one about purchasing would be best. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? Did I cover what you had in mind? Okay. All right. Anyone chime in, or I'll give it one more minute so people can write in a text. My email is lizzvw@me.com. And my Instagram, I'm not a big Facebook person, but it's the same on both. But I do post a lot on Instagram about how I use these oils around the house. And my Instagram is like pretty much just my life, my kids, my new dog. And that's also LIZZVW. That's it, Lizz VW. I have 2 Z's. So if you ever are like, this is interesting, but let me kind of see how she uses them, just check me out. Okay, great. I'm so glad you guys chimed in and tuned in. I think I'm going to end it here. I managed not to ramble on longer than an hour, so I'm really proud of myself. All right, I'm going to stop. Okay, keep in touch, everyone.